Whoa, I guess Rusev Day is returning after all. What's up, everybody? Fred Richani, TSC Wrestling. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. According to PWIinsider.com, Rusev, aka Miro, aka Miroslav Barnyashev, he is officially, or almost officially, re signing with WWE. This comes off the heels of a very disappointing, puzzling, just overall confusing, random AEW run. Get this, right? He debuted as the quote unquote friend, the best man of Kip Sabian. And he came in with like blonde hair and he was wearing this getup with this like pink outfit. It was just very weird. It literally looked like he just walked out of like the living room after like throwing a house party or something on AEW TV. Then he had a match with Joey Janela, which featured just some weird stuff going on, some miscommunication. Then he got serious and became, Miro, the undisputed TNT champion. He was just so good, and he cut all these biblical promos and had this great theme song and everything. And he was just a menace. And then he dropped the TNT title. We're thinking we're going to see him again. And then there were rumors flying around that he did not want to do jobs, aka he did not want to lose, aka he did not want to do business. I mean, you're a pro wrestler, you work for a promoter. The promoter's Tony Khan. He says, hey, can you quote unquote lose to somebody in a predetermined match? Apparently Miro said no multiple times. Then we didn't see Miro for a while. Then we did see him. Then he had some weird storyline with his real life wife, Lana, CJ Perry. Then there were reports that they divorced in real life. Then there were reports that they just got back together. And yeah, he was on ice for a while. And then very recently, he was released. It sounds like Tony Khan got kind of tired of all the malcontents in his locker room. He let Ray Phoenix go. He let Ricky Starks go. And most recently, he let Miro go. As well as some other people probably, quietly. But those are like the notable releases there. Malachi Black, who is allegedly going to be returning as Aleister Black in WWE at some point. So, what does this mean? This means I think WWE gets a very good worker back. Somebody who obviously has cachet with the audience. I gotta say, as somebody who did watch AEW regularly and still does for the most part, even though I haven't been a fan of like the Death Riders and some of the other creative, I gotta say that AEW run was very disappointing. It left a bad taste in my mouth. It is kind of funny because you hear all these things about how some WWE guys go to AEW, they don't want to do jobs, they don't want to do quote unquote silly things. Yet when they go back to WWE or where they're in WWE previously, they'll do all the silly things, like Rusev doing that storyline with Bobby Lashley and his wife, which was just, I'm sorry, I know it's fiction, but that was kind of degrading and yeah, just we at the very least pretty weird. So I think he can come back, have some great matches, especially some nice mean guy hoss matches with the likes of, Obafemi, Trick Williams, of course, his old pal Sheamus, Gunther. Those will be some great matches. Now, do I think he will come back and be a top guy? I don't know. That main event seems pretty crowded. He is still on the younger side compared to guys that have been there a while like Orton and AJ Styles, but I don't know. I can at least see them building him up for like maybe a pay-per-view cycle or a PLE cycle, excuse me. That's the new word for the kids, premium live events. I could see him being built up for like premium live events as like a one-time challenger. I actually wouldn't mind seeing him cook in NXT for a bit too, especially if you're going to end up calling up Obafemi at some point and Trick Williams and maybe even Stephanie Vaquer and some other stars. Hopefully Roxanne after all this time. You're going to need to replenish the brand with some stars. And look, the NXT men's division is a little weak sauce. You got Oba, you got Trick, you got some pretty good workers and Ethan and Ricky Starks, but they're on the older side. Sean Spears is a good worker, but the guy's like in his mid 40s with all due respect. Like they don't have a lot going on in the men's side compared to the women's side, which has a lot of marketable talent, really good talent, some that are great prospects like Sol Ruka. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in NXT for a bit, maybe even going on a little bit of a run, holding the title, and then either putting over Obafemi again, or I don't know, maybe somebody else they're trying to get over like Javon Evans or something like that. So I think he'll have some good matches. He can be a good mid-card, upper mid-card guy again on the main roster. As far as gaining that momentum he had all those years ago at Rusev Day, gonna be a bit of an uphill battle. But I think this is a good pickup. Though it just annoys me because he had so much potential in AEW. And whether it is reportedly his fault or allegedly Tony Khan's fault or whoever, it is a shame that they really couldn't make it work. When it did work for that short period with him as TNT champion, the Redeemer, man, he was money. So if he could channel that energy while also kind of mixing up the, stuff with the Rusev Day from the past that worked, I think he'll be a success in WWE. That being said, we saw Andrade come back, and I love Andrade. I think he's a great worker, and I think he's just been misunderstood and misbooked over the course of his career. And we barely see this guy on TV, which is really disappointing. Granted, Rusev's a bigger guy and everything else, and he's always been slotted higher on the card. So I think he'll be fine compared to Andrade. Ironically, him and Andrade had their last AEW match together, which Rusev won. That was just a weird and wacky time in AEW. So we shall see. We shall see. But hopefully one day they'll get it right with Andrade. I mean, Andrade also had a weird AEW run. Although I don't recall hearing Andrade didn't want to do jobs. I just remember it was kind of weird. Like he had Vicky Guerrero as his manager. Then he had like Chavo Guerrero as his manager. Then he had like Jose the assistant. It was Jose the assistant, I think. Like he had like 3 different managers in like 3 months. It was like ridiculous. And he had this weird stable. A lot of weird stuff going on. But hey, seems like all parties involved. It worked out for all of them. AEW, they're doing their thing, have some positive momentum. WWE obviously is the hottest it's been since, frankly, the Attitude Era. Maybe more than that now with the social media and all that jazz. And of course, you have Rusev, who hasn't been on TV in a while, whether it be as Rusev or as Miro. And he is definitely going to come in, have a fresh coat of paint. And yeah, at the very least, even if he's not a top guy, again, I think he's going to have some awesome matches with some guys, even some old faves like AJ Styles. I really think he could still go and have some kick-ass matches. So I'm excited. And yeah, I would like to see some more creativity there. If I see him killing it in WWE, when he phoned it in the last year or two in AEW, I'm going to shake my head because, come on, man. Like, where was that guy? But then again, if you could get paid 6-7 figures to just say no to your boss and sit at home and go kick it in Bulgaria for a bit and then get released and go back to another job that's going to pay you 6 to 7 figures and being on national TV again on a bigger platform during their hottest period ever, I guess that's a great deal if you could get it, right? But I want to hear from you. What do you think about the return of Rusev Day? Do you think that they'll tap Aiden English from TNA and say, hey, man, do a few shots for us and sing Rusev Day? Will they bring back Lana? Let me know. Leave a comment below if you enjoyed this update. Click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more updates like this. We also do interviews with all your favorite wrestlers. We actually got a big interview in the works, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the day, enjoy the matches, and have fun on this glorious Rusev Day.